Hi, I'm Stu Hamm, and you're watching for BassPlayersOnly.com.
Hi everybody, John Liebman here. You're watching for BassPlayersOnly.com. We are here on location in Hollywood, California with the one and only Stu Hamm. Stu, how you doing?
Great, John. How you doing?
Good. Boy, it hasn't been all that long since we spoke, but there's a lot of stuff that has happened since.
There is.
So I thought it was a good idea to catch up and let these folks know about what's happening. Let's start with just a pack of lies. No, your new album, The Book of Lies.
The Book of Lies.
Talk about that.
You know, it's just a record of the way that I was playing and the music I was writing around the turn of last year. So the first piece we recorded was Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds with Carl Verheyen and Jason Harrison Smith. We'd been out on the road with touring for Carl's album.
Did you write that song?
I did not write that song.
Nice.
We've been on the road with Carl Verheyen, and we played that song live every night. So as soon as we got off the road, we had this recording workshop in Sweetwater, Indiana, and we got in there and recorded it. And I planned to do a bunch of overdubs, and after we played it live, we had Carl try a bunch of acoustic guitar overdubs and doubling basses, and it just took away from what the song was, and so we left it just as the three of us playing live, and that sort of led to the spark for all the band songs on the record, where there really is minimal overdubs, and I wanted to make it sound just like a band playing. So for the title track, Book of Lies, I got my Bay Area buddies John Mader and Lauren Lieber, and wrote just a really basic sketch of a tune to allow them plenty of time to come up with their own parts and really express themselves. And same with Back to Shabalala. I got Chester Thompson on drums.
That's an African influence.
That's the South African tune that I've been working on. And then Practicality is the most produced song in the track, but I got some really good performances. And of course the anchor is the 7-piece suite for solo electric bass. So I wrote this 7-piece suite where every piece uses a different technique. You know, one piece is all slapping and one's all harmonics, as sort of strategies to make a solo bass piece interesting. So the pieces can be used as performance pieces, as pieces to work on, and subliminally, they're also teaching the techniques involved, as well as the new TrueFire course on solo bass, where I go through each piece one by one, so you learn how to play the pieces and also learn a basic theory of tapping, slapping, chordal playing. So I'm very pleased with it came out, and hard at work on the next record and getting ready for some serious Stu Hamm touring coming up.
I'll talk about that, because I know you're going to be out in the winter months, late 2015, early 2016. What's that tour going to be like?
It's very diverse, I'd say, which is good. I've patterned my schedule to be incredibly busy. So here I am in Bass Player Live, and then after I leave LA on Thanksgiving and the 27th, I do a series of solo bass clinics across the West, getting to the Midwest. So I'm in Spanish Fork, which is basically Provo, Utah, and then Denver, Colorado, Springfield, Missouri, St. Louis, Missouri, doing solo bass shows.
I did not see Detroit on that list, by the way.
Well, I know. It's coming there. Hang on, son. Let's relax. And then after the last solo show, I meet my band for the Stu Hamm Band, which is Alex Skolnick on guitar, and Joel Taylor on drums. So they meet me in Dayton, and then we do 4 Stu Hamm gigs in Dayton, Indiana, Reggie's in Chicago, and back to Nighttown in Cleveland. We finish at Cleveland on December 7th. And then on December 8th, I start a tour with guitarist Jane Getter in the same club with Alex Skolnick on guitar,
Wow.
Adam Holtzman on keyboards, and my buddy John Mader on drums. And that goes up until we do play Detroit on that tour with Jane Getter, and then we end the 16th at the Iridium in New York, and then I go away for the holidays. And then the Stu Hamm Band with Alex Skolnick and Joel Taylor, we do a West Coast swing leading into NAMM. We start up in Seattle, Portland, Eugene, Reading, Sacramento, San Francisco at Yoshi's on Monday, January
Got this all
18th.
memorized, huh?
I'm a reasonably intelligent human being who pays attention. And then for all you guys and gals attending NAMM, the Stu Hamm Band with Alex Skolnick and Joel Taylor will be playing the Baked Potato, world famous Baked Potato, on Tuesday, January 19th.
2016.
2016. So if you're here for NAMM a couple days early and you want to come up to Hollywood and see a great band, going to be a lot of special guest stars sitting in. That's it. And then we have NAMM, and then I'm off to Europe to teach at a school in Bologna for a while, and have some exciting touring plans for next year. Plans are I'm going to Asia with Greg Howe and Dennis Chambers.
Oh, really?
And then in the fall, I'm doing a tour with a new iteration of the Stu Hamm Band, this time with Greg Howe on guitar and Craig Blundell, late of the Stephen Wilson tour, on drums.
I hear Dennis Chambers is doing pretty well these days.
Absolutely. I talked to him just about a week and a half ago, and I'm really looking forward to seeing him. And he and Greg and I did a series of dates a couple of years ago, so I'm looking forward to just hanging with him and, of course, playing with him. What's more fun for a bass player than playing with Dennis Chambers? Not a whole lot.
You look genuinely excited about all that stuff
Sure,
coming
man.
up.
It's good to be busy and very diverse, really. In fact, I'm leaving here early to go home and work on some of Jane's music. Really different music than I've played for a while. So, yeah, man, I'm playing upright for the first time in many decades. I wake up every day and get up the Samandal, and I'm up to about page 23.
I did not know that about you.
But I'm determined to only play in tune, so I'm taking it really slow.
French bow or German bow?
I'm not using any bow.
Okay,
I'm
that's
just
okay.
using my fingers. I can't see situations. So that's been a lot of fun. And every day it gets a little better. And the good thing is that as you get more mature, you can learn to gauge progress in a series of weeks and months, and not necessarily, I've got to be able to play third position in tune tomorrow.
There you go.
So.
Hey, I'm curious about something with all the performing that you've done and all the performing you have lined up. I've seen James Taylor a handful of times. My wife is a big fan, and I enjoy it. I don't mind seeing Steve Gadd and Larry Goldings and Jimmy Johnson or Leland Sklar. And I've seen Stanley a whole bunch of times. James Taylor's got this thing where he cannot play a show without performing Fire and Rain. I've never seen Stanley not play School Days, either on the electric or upright. Do you have a similar thing with you and country music?
I've been able to sort of get away without doing it for a while, just because my solo repertoire, thankfully, has continued to grow and morph, and I still whip it out at times when needed. But I think, and especially when I'm playing, with the band, I do so much solo stuff that when I'm playing with Joel and Alex, I'd rather just interact with them. So, if people are really pining for it, I'll whip it out. But like I said, fortunately, I have a pretty good, repertoire of solo bass tunes that no one is left really unhappy yet.
People ever yell out from the audience, "Hey, play some country music"?
Well, yes, of course they do.
Okay.
Of course they do, which is great. Fans are wonderful.
Yes.
Without them, where would we be?
Tell me about your equipment.
I'm playing version 2.0 of my Warwick signature model.
2.0 already, huh?
2.0, yeah. We, I've been with them about 3 years ago. I met Marcus Spangler, the designer, in HP, and a lot of my friends, Steve Bailey, have been telling me about what a good thing Warwick's got going on. And Marcus is a great, as you know, great designer and really open to try things. So,
and a hell of a fun guy.
He's awesome, dude. Awesome, dude. So this bass is really nice. There's just a couple things that we need to tweak on it, and then we'll be able to make the imported, more affordable version of it.
How about strings?
Strings, I've been using GHS boomers for forever. And
why do you like GHS so much?
Man, they're uniform. I always know what to expect from them. Man, they sound good and they're consistent, and I've been using them for so long, and I know Russ and Conley and Chris and John and Dave, all the guys there, they've been really good to me.
All those Michigan guys.
All those Michigan guys. And, I mean, it's funny. It's not, certainly I think they're the best strings there are, but it's whatever you use. People send me other strings to check out. And I'll check them out, and I like them, and they do something a little different. But after playing them for, 30 years, I just know how to get them to sound the way I want. So it's a blessing and a curse. The same with my amp. I play the Hartke 5500 head, the solid state side, XL 4x10s, and nice Evidence Audio cable. And, when I do my solo shows, there's no looper, there's no effects, there's no backing tracks. And it's all the sound is in the finger, and the more you dilute the signal chain by putting it through boxes or tuners, it dilutes it and takes the sound out of your fingers. So there have been a few occasions when everything is right and I'm really able to create. And it's a smaller world where I'm generally able to get my gear wherever I need, and I travel all around the world. But the curse is that if I end up someplace and way out of the way, and they say the only solid state we have is a I don't know, Trace Elliott or something. Not that it's bad, but it's not what I use, and I don't know how to get my sound out of it. And that's when I can really sort of injure my shoulders or wrists trying to overplay, trying to get a sound out of it that I can't get through that gear. So, I really know how to work the stuff that I have to make it work. Because doing a solo bass show, man, it's a lot of, it's rather difficult, I'll say. And of course, the job is to make it look simple and be entertaining and make it so the music is good enough where people could close their eyes and enjoy the music without paying attention to the incredibly difficult, phenomenal technique I'm using to play it and tell my stories and jokes.
That could be the best part, too. Well, congratulations on all of your accomplishments, past, present, and future. Good luck with the tour.
See you in Detroit. It's someplace around December 10th or something. See you there. Check StuHamm.com for all pertinent information about tour dates. And just to let you know, my next release will be called The Diary of Patrick Xavier. You heard it here first.
And we will get the scoop on that next time we talk, which I have a feeling is going to be soon. I hope so. On location in Hollywood, California.
Peace.
With the one and only Stu Hamm. I am John Liebman. You're watching for BassPlayersOnly.com.